Okay, so in this session, we are going to discuss about hydrocele clinical case discussion. Okay, so Dr. Krupasri, she is going to present a case of hydrocele. Okay, ma.
Yes. Mr. Ramesh, 62 years male, presented to the casualty side of the scrotum for the past 4 years. History of present illness, patient was apparently normal before 4 years. Then he developed swelling, insidious in onset and progressive in nature, grows very slowly in size and attained the present size. No history of aggravating and relieving the size of the swelling. No history of change in the size of the swelling in relation with the position of the patient. No history of pain, no history of trauma, fever with chills and rigor, no history of painful micturition, altered bladder habits like dribbling of urine, increased urinary frequency, and of constipation, no history of anorexia, weight loss, chest pain, cough with hemoptysis, jaundice, epilepsy.
Okay, ma'am. So, what other history you want to, important history, have you missed out anything?
Size of the swelling decreases with lying
Yeah.
down
So,
position.
yeah, that is very important. That is, you should ask about that, whether the increase in size of the swelling or decrease in size of the swelling in relation to the position of the patient or lying down or increase while patient straining, what's happening, because that is a one by history you can differentiate whether it is an whether it is related to inguinal hernia or a hydrocele. Particularly patient having inguinal scrotal swelling, so you should take this history. Okay, so from history wise, what is your provisional diagnosis? History wise.
History wise, it is hydrocele. My primary vaginal hydrocele.
From history wise, you are telling this is an, first of all, you should tell this is a scrotal swelling, purely scrotal swelling, because you are telling that swelling that is present only in the scrotum, it is not extending into the inguinal region. Okay, then other important history, why you asked for the history of fever and history of trauma?
To rule out orchitis, epididyma orchitis.
Okay, one is the
So we are
infection
asking
that is
fever.
epididyma orchitis is the one. Okay, then.
Yes, sir. So in history of trauma for
வாய்ஸ் பிரேக் ஆகுதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது சார்.
Okay. Sure. விட்டு கேக்கு sometimes. Sir, okay. Another important thing why you should ask for the fever is the pyocele. Pyocele is the one condition where the hydrocele will turn into a infected state. There you can get fever. So that is an important thing you should ask. Okay. What is the importance of asking trauma?
Hematocele, sir. To rule out hematocele.
One is a hematocele or even at a hematoma of the scrotum also it will present because of the trauma, or sometimes the patient may notice the swelling only after the trauma. Okay. Okay. So what are the complications of the hydrocele?
Sir, it can become hematocele, pyocele.
Okay.
Hernia of hydrocele.
Okay, hernia of hydrocele sac. Okay, good.
Sir.
Okay, totally there are 6 complications are there. Number 1 you told pyocele, number 2 is hematocele, number 3 is the atrophy of the testis, and other one is the calcification of the testis, then hernia of the hydrocele sac, and finally rupture of the hydrocele sac. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. What is this? What will happen if the patient develop pyocele?
Patient will have fever, tense and painful swelling in the scrotal region.
Already there must be some pre-existing scrotal swelling, and suddenly patient becomes toxic. They present with increase in size of the swelling, tense and tender in nature, and fever will be there, tachycardia will be there. So you can think of a pyocele. Okay, what is the treatment for pyocele?
So aspiration of the pus.
No, ideally you should not do. This is for only for confirmation of your diagnosis. You can do the aspiration, but ideal treatment is the either you can plan for the excision of the sac, but that is also not advisable. Ideal treatment is you have to go for the archidectomy. Okay, because once there is a pus is there and it is involving, definitely it's going to involve the testis also. So ideal option is the archidectomy. So if at all archidectomy is there, what type of archidectomy will you do?
Low level orchidectomy.
Okay, you have to do low archidectomy. There are two types of archidectomy: low archidectomy, high archidectomy. Low archidectomy, at the level of the scrotum itself, you are doing the removal of testes, that is called low archidectomy. High archidectomy, you have to remove the testes along with the cord structures, and up to the deep inguinal ring, you can take out the cord structures. And what is the indication for high archidectomy?
Testicular tumors, sir.
Okay, only testicular tumor, because there will be chances to get the tumor spillage. So ideal in testicular tumor, or you are suspecting testicular tumor, you have to go for the high archidectomy. But all these infective conditions or even other conditions you have to do in the scrotal approach itself, that is called as low archidectomy. Okay, so that is the treatment for the pyocele. Okay, and second one is the emetocele, which is also similar to that of pyocele, where you can plan for the low archidectomy. Okay, calcification of the sac, it is very rarely you can get. The clinical presentation, it will be patient will be having a hard swelling. It is not a cystic swelling. Because of the calcification, it will be hard in consistency. It is one of the differential diagnosis for the testicular tumor. So there also, ideal thing is if calcified and there is no material viable tissues are not there, you can go for the archidectomy. Okay, then other things are rupture of the sac and what else? Other complication.
Hernia.
Atrophy of testis also you have to plan for archidectomy only, and hernial sac also. All these things you have to plan according to the complication. Okay, there are 6 complications. You should know this complication, and treatment of each complication also very important. Okay, go to the examination. Examination.
Examination on standing position. An oval swelling of size 5 cross 4 centimeter, which is present in the right side of the scrotum, which extends from the base of the scrotum up to 2 centimeter, 2 finger distance below the right pubic tubercle, with a smooth surface and well-defined rounded margins. Skin of the swelling appears to be stretched out with the loss of rugosities and with prominent subcutaneous veins. No impulse on coughing present. Penis found to be normal in position and no ulcers. Urethral meatus found to be normal, no discharge. Able to retract the preputial skin back. No visible swelling in the both inguinal region. Opposite side testis found to be normal.
Okay,
On
so
palpation,
here you can able to palpate testis on the same side. Can you
sir?
able to palpate testis in the swelling side?
No, sir.
It's not possible. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What about skin laxity? Whether it is laxity is there or not, or it is tense and stretched out?
Sir, rugosity is lost, but somewhat it is tense only, sir.
Tense only. Okay. Okay. What is the size of the swelling?
5 cross 4 centimeters, sir.
5 cross. Okay. 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 What other test you will do?
Sir, on palpation, translumination test, fluctuation test.
Okay. The first test, get above the swelling.
Get about.
Yeah. The first test, whenever you get any swelling in the scrotal region, first you have to assess whether the patient is having a purely scrotal swelling or inguinal scrotal swelling. Because the differential diagnosis for purely scrotal swelling is entirely different when comparing with the inguinal scrotal swelling. Okay, how will you do this get above the swelling? The first thing, you put the patient in standing position. Okay, you take take your right dominant hand. Okay, all the 4 fingers behind and thumb in front. You have to keep it like this at the level of the root of the testis. You have to introduce the thumb in front, anterior aspect, and all 4 fingers behind. You have to catch over the upper pole of the swelling. Then just palpate. See to that whether you can able to palpate cord structures alone or some other structure also you are palpating. If you can able to palpate only the cord structures, the inference is get above the swelling is positive. Inference is it is a purely scrotal swelling. Whereas if we can't able to palpate the cord structures alone, you are palpating some other structures also. Your inference is it is a inguinal-scrotal swelling. Okay, so inguinal-scrotal swelling automatically the differential diagnosis, that is a inguinal hernia, particularly indirect inguinal hernia, will be a common differential diagnosis. Okay, so get above the swelling is one of the important clinical tests you have to do. Put the patient in standing position and you have to do it, palpate just above the swelling, whether you can able to palpate only cord structures or any other structures. Along with cord structure, you can palpate any other structures. That is the test. So this test, importance of this test is to differentiate a purely scrotal swelling from inguinal scrotal swelling. It is not hydrocele from hernia. It is a purely scrotal swelling from the inguinal scrotal swelling. So this is the first thing you have to do. And next test is check for the consistency. Consistency will be
cystic inconsistency.
okay. Here it is cystic inconsistency. Okay, almost always hydrocele. If you want to say hydrocele, most of the time it will be presenting with the fluid collection. So you will get only the cystic consistency. Once you are telling the cystic inconsistency, you have to go and do two more tests. That is fluctuation and transillumination. Okay, how will you demonstrate fluctuation here?
The upper pole, we have to keep the thumb and the index finger of one hand in the upper pole and thumb and index finger of the other hand in the lower pole. While pressing one hand fingers, will move the fingers of the other hand.
It will be displaced. Okay, so if you are pressing, you are giving pressure on this aspect, you can see that movement of these two fingers. So that is the inference is fluctuation is positive. Okay, next one is the transillumination. So how to check for the transillumination? Patient in standing position, you pass the light. Ideally, you should do in a dark room. Patient in standing position, pass light from the lateral aspect of the scrotum and keep the illuminoscope on the anterior aspect. Okay, so and see to that whether it is illuminant or not. So that is the next thing you have to follow in the transillumination. Almost all the hydrocele, it will be transillumination will be positive in nature, because hydrocele it will be presenting with a clear fluid and it is the wall will be thin in nature. There are three criteria has to be there for transillumination has to be positive. Number one, the skin, sac or capsule, or number three is the fluid. So what type of fluid? Number one, if the skin is thin and the sac or the capsule is very thin, then fluid is a clear fluid. Then you will get almost always you will get positivity. Suppose if your skin is thick, for example, in case of filariasis of the scrotum, your skin will be thick. So light won't penetrate. So in that case, you will get transillumination negative. Similarly, sac also will be thick in case of filariasis. Then the fluid, if the fluid is turbid in nature, for example, in case of hematocele and pyocele, the fluid will be turbid in nature. There also their transillumination will be almost always it will be negative in nature. So fluctuation and transillumination, very important clinical test you have to do in that to demonstrate whether it is a hydrocele or not. Okay, so what other important examination you want to do?
Able to palpate the testes in the swelling site or not, sir?
Okay, good.
Opposite side testes.
Okay, okay. Important other systemic examination.
Para-abdomen examination.
What is the importance of para-abdomen? Yes, para-aortic lymph nodes. Okay. Why you are expecting para-aortic node?
In testicular tumor.
Okay, testicular tumor, particularly which type of testicular malignancy? What histological variant type? Seminoma. In case of seminoma, because seminoma always it will spread through the lymphatics, whereas teratoma it will spread through the bloodstream. Okay, so there you will get a lung metastasis, cannonball metastasis in teratoma, but testicular malignancy will get a para-aortic lymph node enlargement. So abdominal examination is also very important in case of hydrocele to rule out this one. Okay, so
yes,
okay, so systemic examination if you take, abdomen is very important, and the left supraclavicular. Yeah, so Virchow's node, left supraclavicular lymph node also very important. You have to examine. Okay, what is our complete diagnosis?
Primary right-sided vaginal hydrocele.
Okay, primary vaginal hydrocele. Okay, first you have to tell that why you said primary.
Because there is no cause, idiopathic, hence it is
Okay,
primary.
idiopathic, no, okay, but clinically there are some differences how to differentiate whether it is a primary or secondary. Primary, the swelling will be large in size in case of primary, whereas in case of secondary, it will be small or medium size in size. And primary, it will be dense in nature, and you can see the skin, there will be absence of rugosity, whereas secondary, the skin will be lax in nature. And number three, the testis will not be palpable in case of primary. In secondary, it may most of the time it will be palpable. And already I told the transillumination. Transillumination it will be almost always it will be positive in primary. It may or may not be present in case of secondary hydrocele. So clinically, you should be able to differentiate whether it is a primary or secondary. And secondary, you can assess the other cause. Okay, like the causes for secondary hydrocele is epididyma, orchitis, testicular tumor, other causes, trauma. So you can assess the other causes. Why you can see that other associated findings for the secondary lesion. So clinically, you have to assess whether primary or secondary. Okay. Next one, why you are telling this is vaginal hydrocele?
This scrotal swelling alone, sir.
Number one, it is a purely scrotal swelling. Okay. What are the other types of hydrocele?
Sir, infantile hydrocele, congenital hydrocele, encysted hydrocele of cord, hydrocele of hernia of hydrocele, and hydrocele of neck, canal of neck.
Okay.
And
Hydrocele N bisac.
funicular hydrocele.
Okay. Funicular hydrocele. Okay.
Bilocular hydrocele.
Yeah, three bilocular hydrocele. Three types, common three types. The first common type is the vaginal hydrocele is the commonest type. Okay, if you see that congenital hydrocele, infantile hydrocele, funicular hydrocele, all the three are inguinal scrotal swelling. It is not a purely scrotal swelling. Whereas this case, what you are seeing is a purely scrotal swelling. That's why you are telling it's a vaginal hydrocele. What is the definition for vaginal hydrocele?
Abnormal collection of fluid in the tunica vaginalis or a part of the process as well, vaginalis.
Yeah, okay. Between the layers of the tunica vaginalis, that is the parietal and visceral layers. Okay, whereas this, what is the definition? What do you mean by congenital hydrocele? What do you mean by infantile? What do you mean by funicular? Congenital means the cause is due to the patent process vaginalis. Okay, what is process vaginalis?
Connection of the tunica vaginalis with peritoneal cavity. To which the testis descends down.
Okay, so process vaginalis is nothing but a peritoneal outpouch that will be coming along with the descent of the testis from the deep inguinal ring to the canal and then superficial ring and then down into the scrotum. What will happen during the embryological development? All the part will be obliterated up to the deep inguinal ring. Only that part that is present over the testis will be remain. That is called as tunica vaginalis. If it is present, it causes two conditions. One is congenital hydrocele and congenital hernia. What is the difference between congenital hydrocele and congenital hernia? Both are same only almost, but there is some difference. But if you take treatment wise, congenital hydrocele, congenital hernia, both the things, the treatment is herniatomy is a treatment. But what is the difference?
So smaller.
Yeah. The neck of the sac.
The
neck of the sac will be very small so that it will allow only the fluid to enter. That is called congenital hydrocele. Congenital hernia means where the neck of the sac somewhat it is wide so that the content will enter into it. That is the difference. Otherwise, both are same only. The treatment aspect is for both congenital hydrocele and hernia. The treatment is herniatomy. Okay, what are the other types? So congenital hydrocele, it will communicate with the peritoneal cavity. Infantile hydrocele is the one similar to that of congenital hydrocele, but it is not communicating to the peritoneal cavity. So the infantile hydrocele, it will present up to the deep inguinal ring. It is not communicating. Okay, and funicular hydrocele is the one. It will communicating from the peritoneal cavity and it will present up to the upper pole of the testis. That is called funicular hydrocele. Okay, and what is the characteristic feature the mother will tell you in congenital hydrocele is that she used to tell that in the night there is no swelling at all. In the morning also there is no swelling. But when the child used to play, what happened? Gradually the fluid will come and accumulate in the scrotum. Okay, and the mother noticed, and it will become more prominent, particularly afternoon or in the evening. So that is a history they will typically give you. Okay, this effect is called as ink bottle effect. Okay, so if you tilt the ink bottle, what will happen? Slowly only it will keep on, drops will come. Okay, so it is called ink bottle effect, and characteristically seen in case of congenital hydrocele. Okay, so that is about these three types of hydrocele, but all the three conditions are usually inguinous scrotal swelling. Okay, so primary you told, vaginal hydrocele you told. Hydrocele, the findings are based on the findings you are telling. Hydrocele, that is, it is present purely scrotal swelling, and consistency, cystic consistency, fluctuation present, and transillumination present. So based on that, this is the about the diagnosis. Okay, so what is the treatment? What is the management for this patient?
The surgical management, sir.
Okay, so what surgery you will plan for this patient?
The Jabolis method of aversion of sac.
Jabolis method of aversion of sac. Okay, so what investigation you will do?
So USG scrotum and pre-operative investigations.
Okay, so ultimate aim is to see to that whether the this is due to secondary. So there are some testicular tumor also produce secondary hydrocele. You have to do the ultrasound to rule out the architecture of the testis. Okay, ultimately, and you have to do the ultrasound abdomen also. Whether is there any other abnormality or other mass is present or not. You have to do the ultrasound abdomen as well as the scrotum. Okay, so what is the, how will you do this Jabolis aversion of sac?
So incision is made at paramedian raphe.
Okay.
And incision deepened, layers of scrotum opened like skin, subcutaneous tissue, dartus muscle, external spermatic fascia, cremasteric fascia, internal spermatic fascia, and tunica albuginea. And the sac is
now tunica
sac
albuginea is the innermost layer. Tunica albuginea will be innermost layer, so you will reach up to the tunica vaginalis. So you can see that bluish tinge will be there. Then you open the tunica vaginalis, you can see the hydrocele fluid. So what is the color of the hydrocele fluid? Color
straw
and
colored.
straw colored. Okay, what is the content of hydrocele fluid?
So inorganic salts, water.
Okay, 99% it will be water only. Inorganic salts will be there. Fibrinogen will be there, albumin will be there, and tyrosine and cholesterol crystals will be there. That is the content. So once you open, the fluid will come out. Let out all the fluid. You will be opening a sac like this and taking the sac posterior to the testis, and you are suturing. This is called aversion of sac. What is the purpose of averting the sac?
To prevent the recurrence, sir.
Yeah, sir. Is keeping the, this is a secretory surface. These two are secretory surface. You are keeping the secretory surface away from each other, so there is chances for collection of the fluid again. So that is the reason for the aversion of sac. Okay. What are the complications you will get post-operatively? Surgery.
Hematoma formation, sir.
Okay,
Infections.
hematoma formation, infection, wound infection. Okay.
Trauma to the testis, penis.
Yeah, testis. Not the penis. Most of the time you will get injury to the testis. Chances, and epididymis and these structures, there is more chances to get injury. Okay, and how will you treat an hematoma, scrotal hematoma? How will you suspect hematoma post-operatively? Sudden increase in size of the swelling. So first day or second day, sudden increase in size of the swelling. Patient will complaining of sudden increase in pain, and the patient will be having fever and all. So what sometimes there will be complaining of blackish or brownish color serous fluid is coming through the wound. That infers that is an altered blood. That is a hematoma is formed and it is coming out. So once hematoma, if you are suspecting, you let out the sutures, evacuate the hematoma and give a drainage. If you can able to arrest the bleeding site, try to arrest the bleeding site. Then you do the regular dressing. Okay, so wound infection, if it is depends upon whether it is a superficial or deep infection. Superficial, you can treat with an oral antibiotic itself. If it is abscess formation is there, you have to drain the pus and you leave the wound open. So that is a treatment for the complications. Okay. And okay, so anything you want to discuss? Complications of surgery. Okay. Main thing, the differential diagnosis. They will ask you about the differential diagnosis. So, what are the differential diagnoses of vaginal hydrocele?
Inguinal hernia, acute epidermolysis.
No. In vaginal hydrocele, inguinal hernia won't be a differential diagnosis. That's why I told that is a inguinoscrotal swelling. For vaginal hydrocele, it won't be a this one. If it is inguinoscrotal swelling, you can tell that is a inguinal hernia.
Spermatocele epidermal cyst.
Yes, cyst, epidermal cyst, spermatocele.
Acute epidermolysis.
Epidermolysis, testicular tumor, okay, and torsion of the testis. These are the common differential diagnosis for the vaginal hydrocele. Okay. Suppose if you are suspecting epidermolysis, what will you do?
So antibiotics.
Okay, antibiotics. Scrotal support has to be given. So there will be some scrotal edema will be there, and you have to give the scrotal support. Okay. And main thing is you have to rule out whether that one is a epidermolysis or torsion testis. How will you rule out?
UST scrotum.
Use it particularly Doppler. You have to do the Doppler. Okay. In epidermolysis, the vascularity will be increased, whereas in torsion, the vascularity will be impaired or decreased in nature. Okay. Torsion testis. You are suspecting a patient is having torsion testis. What will you do? Will you do surgery, or you will wait and watch, or you will do some investigation? Wait for the investigation to come.
We'll do surgery.
Yeah, you have to do immediately. Whether even if it is negative, also it is better ideal to go for. Don't wait for the investigation. Suppose sonologist is coming, you have to wait for that. Don't wait for that, because try to do as like this is as like a MI only, myocardial infarction only. If you are suspecting in a case a patient that too particularly young patient, you are suspecting torsion testis, immediately you can go for the exploration. And nothing wrong in it. Even if it is negative, also don't bother. You have to go for that. You see that, you explore and see that. If it even negative, also don't bother. So that is an ideal one, because you can save the testis. Otherwise, even if you are opening after some time, it is not going to help you. Okay, you are opening for a torsion testis. You can see that testis. You can see the testis is viable in nature. What will you do?
We'll do detorsion of the testis and we'll.
And what will you do next one? You have to fix the testis. You have to do the orchidopexy. You have to do the orchidopexy, because most of the time, because the cause will be detorsion because of that redundant this tissue. So you have to fix the testis. That is called orchidopexy. Okay. And one more important thing is you have to do the bilateral orchidopexy, not a unilateral. Once a patient develops torsion on one side, again there is more chances to get it. So in the same sitting itself, you have to fix the testis in the scrotal sac. That is, you have to do the bilateral orchidopexy. Okay. So you are suspecting a testicular tumor. Suppose you are suspecting a testicular tumor. But there are some features. You are suspecting it is not a clear-cut case of testicular tumor. So in that case, what will you do? Surgery. You have to explore. You have to do an exploration. That maneuver is called Chavassov maneuver. Chavassov maneuver is just nothing but you have to apply a soft clamping of the cord structures at the level of the deep inguinal ring. Okay. And then you take the biopsy from the suspected region. Okay. And then you send it for the send it for frozen section and see to that whether it's a benign or malignant. If it is benign, you can close it and come off. If it is a malignant, what you have to do? You have to do the eye architectomy. That maneuver is called Chavassov maneuver. So when you are having facility for frozen section biopsy, you can do that one. Okay. So important thing is differential diagnosis of the vaginal hydrocele. So you can expect other question like other differential diagnosis, epidermal cyst and spermatocele. Okay, how will you differentiate epidermal cyst from spermatocele clinically?
Epidermal cyst will be bilateral, sir. Spermatocele usually unilateral.
Okay,
And trans-elimination test will be positive in epidermal cyst, sir. Negative in spermatocele, sir.
okay. So the reason is very simple. Here the epidermal cyst will be present in the head of the epidermis where it will be having clear fluid. So if you pass a light, transformation will be positive. And that too particularly it is brilliantly transluminant. What is that pattern called? It is called
Clear fluid.
Chinese lantern
That is
appearance.
lantern.
Okay, so it's called
Yes.
Chinese lantern appearance. Similarly, this spermatocele, it will be having a fluid. It is turbid in nature. That is because of presence of the spermatozoa. It is barley water-like fluid. So that's why you don't get a transformation positive in that spermatocele. Okay. Only if for both the condition that the treatment is, if it is small, there is no treatment. Just observe and keep observation. Only if it is large enough and it is causing the obstruction to the pathway, then in that case you have to do the excision of the cyst. Otherwise, it is not. Most of the time, it is not necessarily, or it is not indicated at all. Okay. Okay. I think I covered almost all that. Briefly, I have covered. Okay.